What is going on, YouTube? Joe here with Color Nation Media, bringing you yet another Pokemon X and Y Wi-Fi battle. And today's opponent is Kamek. I think that's how you're supposed to pronounce that. Not really sure, but anyway, moving on, let's take a look at the teams here. On his side, it looks like Charizard is going to be the only option for a Mega Evolution. And judging by the rest of his team that he's got going on here, I'm going to say that's going to be Mega Charizard X. Because he's got Chestnut, Mamoswine, and Fortress, which are all weak to fire, so having Drought on the field with Mega Charizard Y doesn't seem like necessarily the best idea. He's got Tentacruel for its special walling capabilities. It looks like Fortress and Chestnut can be physical walls. Mamoswine can set up rocks, and then with Mienshao, as a cleaner or maybe even a lead. On my side, I've got a lot of the same usual pokes with Espeon and Fernape. I also threw in Gengar and Slowbro as well, so that's pretty much that. I'm going to lead off with my Infernape, just because I feel like doing that. And he's going to lead off with his Mienshao, and it turns out that he's going to go for Fake Out on the first turn. I don't see Fake Out on Mienshao too often, but it turns out that that's what he has. So he does that in the first turn, and now he's going to go for Protect. I guess to scout what I was going to do. I thought he would switch out to Tentacruel here, just because he was expecting, a fighting move or a fire move. Tentacruel resists both, but he stays in, goes for the Protect, and now I decided to just go for a close combat, thinking, I guess he's just going to stay in with this thing, and he does. And he takes the close combat not well at all. Mienshao is frail as balls, so that takes him out. And yeah, now he's going to go into Fungi Gal, the Mamoswine. And it's shiny. I never really liked how, shiny Mamoswine looks. I just think it looks kind of stupid, but oh well. Oh well, he hangs on with his Focus Sash, or I guess she does, Fungi Gal, whatever. And now I'm at -2 defense, which is perfect for an Earthquake, and that's exactly what he goes for here. I don't think Infernape would have survived an Earthquake, even at just regular defense with no drops. But, yeah, that's just a little bit curious there. I thought he would go into maybe Tentacruel, because he could take a Thunder Punch, but I guess he just wants to save that for later, and Mamoswine was meant to take at least one hit with the Focus Sash, obviously, so I guess that works out. I'm going to go straight into my Tinsect, because I'll be able to pick this thing off very easily with a Bullet Punch. It's exactly what I do. He's got nothing to really go for there. He could go for the Ice Shard, I guess, but I would resist that hit, so there's no point in doing that. I don't even know if he had Ice Shard for sure. I thought that was going to be like a Stealth Rock set, and actually he may have had Stealth Rocks, but just found it more important to get rid of Infernape, which is also possible. Now he's going to go into Charizard and is going to evolve into Mega Charizard X. In a second here, I'm going to start to speed this up because this part gets quite stally and it lasts for a while. So I'll speed that up and then return the video to a normal speed once we get through that part, because the rest of this match is worth watching, but that part just gets kind of annoying. So yeah, he goes for the Fire Fang and gets critical hits. He went for the Will-O-Wisp as we went into Slowbro, but he missed. And now I'm going to go for a Thunder Wave, and now the stalling begins. Let's speed this up just a little bit here. There we go, that's better. So I'm going to go for the Scald, and because he has the added Dragon type, that's not really going to do a whole lot. It just does neutral damage. And now I can't, burn him. Well, I guess I couldn't burn him anyway. He's Fire type. But he's paralyzed, so I also can't poison him, I guess, if I wanted to. I don't have Toxic on this Slowbro, though. I have Thunder Wave instead. But nonetheless, yeah, I'm burned. He's paralyzed, and he has Roost, so he's just going to keep going for Roost whenever he's not paralyzed, for the most part. Hit me with a Dragon Claw or Fire Fang when, he isn't having to recover himself, and I can't do enough damage without a crit to, kill this thing off. So I actually try to stay at this for a while, trying to break through this thing, but with the burn damage, I'm forced to use Slack Off, which sucks, because if it wasn't for that, I might be able to kill this thing a lot easier. I mean, I do have the Rocky Helmet, which is doing some damage to it when he does attack me, but it's just, it's not enough. I need to get a critical hit, and anytime you need to get a critical hit, you are absolutely, positively, never, ever in the history of forever going to get one. It just does not work that way. So Yeah, that's that. So eventually I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm switching out here. I'm going to switch into my Shady. I waited for it to get to a point where he was almost definitely going to use Roost. And he goes for it there. And now he switches as well as Shady comes in. So that's that. Done with the stall time. Finally. I'm going to go for the substitute. And yeah, get that all set up on the switch. So now he's going to switch out his Chester D Big into Kia, which is his Tentacruel, and I can't really do much to this thing. This is obviously a special wall. Tentacruel has awesome special defense, so can't do much to him at all. You see how much Sludge Bomb did. That wasn't very effective, but still, Gengar has such a high special attack stat. You would think it would do more than that. But yeah, I don't really want to switch into anything here and risk getting burned. I don't really have anything that I would like to take a burn, so I'm going to have Shady actually take this thing on. He has to Scald it first, you know, to get rid of the substitute. Meanwhile, I'm just going for Shadow Balls, and it's not really doing a whole lot. So I decide to eventually go for the Disable there to disable the Scald, because if it was Scald versus Shadow Ball, I'm pretty sure he would win. So now that we've got Scald disabled, he's going to have to go for whatever his coverage move is. And I was hoping that it was going to be Sludge Bomb, instead of a coverage move, rather, because, you know, it helps him take on fairies. But no, he has Ice Beam, so that does a little bit more damage than Sludge Bomb would. But that's okay. I have the Black Sludge, so I can survive a couple of hits. And I did get the special defense drop there with the Shadow Ball, like the second or third one, whatever one it was. So he decides to go for a Toxic Spikes here. He knows I'm going to be able to take him out if he doesn't switch, but I don't think he has anything that he really wants to take a Shadow Ball for either, and so that's that. Now he knows all of my moves, though, and so he does decide to go into his Chester D Big because of Bulletproof, and that ability just basically allows him to suck up all of the moves that I would have to attack him, so I have to switch out. There's nothing I can do, so I'm going to go into Gliscor as he goes for the spikes. It's pretty much just, you know, free turn there, so that's that. And I'm starting to wonder if this is like some kind of stally just wall set where you might have like Leech Seed and Substitute and Spikes or something crazy like that. And he does have Leech Seed indeed. And yeah, that unfortunately sucks, but I definitely wanted to bring in Gliscor here because I can knock off his item and I can poison him, which will really cut down on Chester D Big. Can't think of his real name. Chestnut, that's it. For some reason, the actual Pokemon name was avoiding me. Probably because the nickname's just so damn good. So I go for the knockoff after poisoning him, so we get rid of that leftovers recovery. Meanwhile, he's just getting up so many just layers of spikes there. So you got the Toxic Spikes up, one layer of those, plus however many layers of spikes he has up, I don't even know. I think eventually he does get 3, but that's that. The only thing he's missing is Stealth Rock, so yeah, so with the poison damage, I'm pretty confident that I'll be able to take this thing out because I don't think he has a grass move. If anything, he might have a fighting move, and that's why he wasn't attacking Gengar. So now I'm going to go into Glow, and unfortunately I am poisoned, and that kind of sucks. Not that Glow has a lot of longevity anyway, but I'm able to bounce back the spikes there, and that's like the second time in forever that I've been able to use Magic Bounce. I'm just not very good at predicting most of the time when it comes to entry hazards. I don't know why. I can predict other moves fairly well, but when it comes to entry hazards and status moves, I just suck ass at it. Now he's going to switch out, thinking I might go for a Psyshock or a Psychic or something. So he's going to go into Minerva the Fortress to take that. And, you know, Fortress is also going to have Rapid Spin most likely, so he can get rid of those spikes that I just put up from the Magic Bounce. And there's really nothing I can do to this Fortress. It would help if I had Hidden Power Fire, but just breeding on your own, there's, you know, it's difficult to get Hidden Power anything. So I don't have it. I know he's going to go for the Rapid Spin, so I go right into my Shady to block that shit. And it works like a charm. I go for the Shadow Ball, and somehow this Fortress survives. I really didn't think that was going to happen. But he's able to eat his Citrus Berry. And now he's going to go for the Stealth Rock. I could have switched back to Glow there to bounce it, but I decided not to. So he is able to get the Stealth Rocks up, unfortunately. So now he's got all these layers of spikes. He's got Toxic Spikes, and he's got Stealth Rock. The only thing he's missing is Sticky Web. And of course, he's going to go back into Chester D Big here because he knows my Gengar just cannot touch him. So, yeah, we can't touch each other at all. I mean, he can go for Leech Seed, but I guess he would end up winning that. So I'm going to have to go back into my Glow now. I'm not really sure what else I can do. So with all that Entry Hazard damage, I'm just weakened like crazy. And he does go for the Leech Seed, so I bounce that back too. I mean, unfortunately, he's a Grass type, so it doesn't affect him. That kind of sucks, but that's twice I was able to bounce back some kind of statusy thing. So that's a win in my book. So, alright, he's going to go for the Spiky Shield now, assuming I'm just going to go for the Psyshock. And I should have thought of that. But he predicts that nicely, and because I'm poisoned, probably going to kill me, right? No, I have 9 HP left, so I barely survive. And he's also taking poison damage, but his increases every turn, so I don't know why he was trying to stall me out there. Maybe he thought he could get away with it, you know, just kill me off that turn, but it did not work that way. So in comes Minerva the Fortress again. There's nothing I can do to it, so I'm just going to go for a Reflect. And I was assuming maybe it might have Protect or something, and if that was the case, you know, I would have just had to die anyway. Might as well get that Reflect up, but oh well. So Slowbro's going to come in, and he's burned, which sucks, but I know Fortress most likely can't do anything other than, you know, potential Volt Switch. But somehow, some way, Slowbro is faster than Fortress. Now, I can't say that I've really seen Slowbro outspeed anything. Most of the time, Paralyzed Pokemon and Sticky Web Pokemon are faster than Slowbro, but somehow he's faster than this Fortress. That thing might have 0 speed IVs if it was a, you know, a Gyro Ball set. That's the only thing I can think of, because Slowbro is just so incredibly slow. But nonetheless, in comes Gustav II. Interesting name for a Charizard, by the way. But creative, I'll give you that. So I'm going to go into Gliscor, and he can't stay in because Earthquake is just going to demolish him. So that's that. In comes the Chester D Big again, and he's just taking more and more damage from his own spikes. And I go for the Earthquake. I guess he's just, you know, foddering it off. It's a pretty good move here because Chestnut really didn't have anything else that he could do, so that gives him a safe switch into his Tentacruel, which has Ice Beam, and it's most likely going to be faster than Nightwing, so again, that's a pretty good move there, but I can't stay in, no way. I will get massacred by Ice Beam, so I'm going to have to go into Shady to take it. Don't really have anything else that can take it, and I'm not entirely certain that Gengar can take it, and he doesn't take it because he gets a crit. Honestly, I think that would have killed him anyway, so it doesn't really matter. He gets a little bit of Black Sludge recovery, but I'm not too worried about this Tentacruel anymore, especially because I've got my Tinsect hanging out over here, who was previously, you know, undamaged. He takes a bunch from Stealth Rock and Spikes and all that stuff. And now he's going to have to switch out or just, you know, waste his Tentacruel, and he kind of needs it to get rid of Gliscor. He doesn't have anything else, and I think it's just Charizard and Tentacruel at this point, I think. So I'm going to go for the Quick Attack on the switch that does some decent damage, and I can't risk staying in for a Fire Fang, so I'm going to have to U-turn, and it does okay damage, despite not being very effective. I'm going to go into Nightwing again, and yeah, he can't touch me, really. He can't burn me, so Will-O-Wisp is out of the question. All he can really do is Fire Fang, and that's not going to do anything, especially unboosted. So I think we've seen all of his moves, and it's just Fire Fang, Dragon Claw, Roost, and Will-O-Wisp. And normally you see Dragon Dance on these sets. I'm not sure why he wasn't running a Flare Blitz over Fire Fang either. Maybe he just didn't like the recoil. That's possible. He's just going for the bulky offense type of thing, or just the bulky Charizard in general. Not necessarily offensive. But anyway, he finally goes down to an Earthquake there. I'm going to go back into my Tinsect. And at this point, this battle's pretty much over, even with, you know, the entry hazards and stuff. To take that Ice Beam. And I didn't really need to switch there, but I didn't want to play any games. You never know when you're going to get a crit or something, so I'll just take, play it safe. go into Tinsec, take that Ice Beam pretty nicely, go for the quick attack, and that's going to finish off the Tentacruel, and that's going to be the end of this battle. So it was overall a good match, kind of a lengthy match, but just because in real time it was like 5 or 6 minutes of just stalling with Slowbro and Charizard towards the beginning of the match. But other than that, pretty back and forth. He had some good strategies with the entry hazards and everything, so definitely a good match. But that's pretty much all I have to say for this time, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Please leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. It means everything to me. You guys are awesome. I'll see you next time. Game on.